is I am on a train to Tokyo from Narita. We stayed at the airport, and hopefully, I think I have to run this way. Oh well. Yeah, we're gonna be here for like an hour. Probably at this point about 45 minutes. We stayed near the airport this time because we were coming in semi-late, and I had no interest in trekking to Tokyo to try to get someplace just for one night, only to move again. Today we go all the way over to Machida, which is where it's closer to where the tournament is. Not exactly on top of it, but it's close enough, and it's near a huge train station, so it's good score. That's the same place we stayed the last time. Not the same hotel, but the same area. So right now we are flying through from Narita Airport all the way to Shinjuku, where we meet up with a bunch of people. And hey, there's another train. And switch over there to Machida, which will be another like 40 minutes or so. So today is travel day, and of course we've got beautiful weather. It's pouring today. So actually, it looks like it actually stopped. So I'm happy about that. And I think the weather's supposed to clear up, so for tomorrow it should be okay. So we'll find out. I'm not sure what town we're in. But the closer we get to Tokyo, the less, rice paddies and stuff we see. I'm still getting used to looking between here and there, so don't mind me as I get used to this. It's like the first time I do this on my new camera. So, yeah. I'll see you then. Contrary to popular thought, Sasuke is not in Tokyo. Now, you see me here traveling from the airport to Shinjuku, and that's what that train is. It's the Narita Express. Actually I talked about it in the previous video of the train itself. I'm more than happy. In fact, I said it before and I'll say it again. If you are a foreigner and you plan to take this, go ahead and show your passport, and they will actually give you, I think it's like half off, as opposed to being $30, like they're 30 to $35 one way. I ended up paying $20, technically $20 one way, because it's I think total 40, 80. Yeah, that's exactly what I did. That's my husband and I paid $80 for going back and forth, and oh god, I'd do that again. Last time I took a bus, and no, I'm doing train again. And what's nice is that with the express, you don't have to stop like every single spot, which is great. So it went straight into the city. Now granted, it took the scenic route, so if you see the line where it's meandering south and whatever, but still, I did not mind. I was very, very happy, and nice smooth ride. I was able to put all of my luggage in the luggage compartment. I actually had luggage compartments, so we didn't have anything falling on top of our heads, or even worse, having to shove it somewhere on the side and hope that I wasn't blocking somebody's way. That was perfect. So anyway, went over to Shinjuku. Now Shinjuku is basically like New York's Grand Central Station. And yeah, that place is ginormous. Just about every major train goes through there, including the Shinkansen, which is the bullet train. So everything goes through there. I mean, I am so freaking happy. I actually printed out a map because I needed it. Now I was meeting my friends over there, and then the whole point was they were coming in from totally different areas, and some of them were there earlier, some of them were just arriving. So we just basically all met up in one place and then got on the other slightly express, it's hard to explain some of these things. They call these romance cars. I don't know where they get those phrases. Yeah, welcome to Japan, romance car. All the romance car means is reserved seating. Now you pay an extra, I don't know, 50 cents, a dollar. I'll pay the 50 cents, a dollar to be able to have my own designated seat. I mean, seriously, who wouldn't? So either way, it's also an express, and I think Machida was the first stop. Either way, we were heading from Shinjuku to Machida. Now Machida is technically, if you're looking at the map, it's sort of like western Tokyo, north Yokohama. It's hard to explain because Tokyo area is ginormous, but from the city center on an express with no stops, it's like half an hour. In fact, the last year, I did the mistake in last year. Well, granted, this is the first time we've ever done it, and we were coming from a different hotel, which was much further out. It was in Tokyo Bay, so completely different area. We were nowhere near Shinjuku. We ended up taking a bus to Yokohama and then taking the local. So we stood the entire time for like 45 minutes just on that train. Yeah, not happening again. So this time we ended up taking the express, which was much better, which was good because I was still exhausted and still quite jet lagged from arriving the night before. So yeah, that was the Odakyu line. Not that anybody really remembers, but hey, if you want to know what it is, go from the airport, go to Shinjuku, take the train over to Machida. Machida is basically the closest main train station near Midoriyama, because Midoriyama is out in the middle of nowhere. Midoriyama is an actual little town. It's not a mountain. Sorry, G4. In fact, if you really want to get technical, Sasuke is actually the steel castle. But yeah, so the Midoriyama lot, which is technically it is the satellite office for TBS in that area. And yeah, as you can see it greatly from the map. Yes, that big huge lot is rented out, just like the one in Vegas is also rented out, and it's not always up. It's only there for those 2 weeks, and then they break it down and yada. I get that question a lot. Why did they think a set anyway? So so we ended up staying in Machida because it's about, I would say, I think it's anywhere between 25 to 35 depending on who you're getting and decide whether they want to take the scenic route. It's about $25 to $35 one way on a taxi from Machida over to Midoriyama, and it is a little pricey, but I actually prefer that way because Machida has, like, I guess, higher end hotels. Midoriyama is surrounded by residential area. There's like nothing there, and the ones that are there, the business hotels, in fact, I was forbidden by several people to stay at some of the places around there because yikes. So anyway, Machida was awesome because it has, in fact, we stayed there last year in a completely different hotel, and when we arrived in the local, it was actually closer to where the local train, but we were coming in from the JR station, which is where the express had come in, and we were only like 2 blocks from there, so it was great. And so the place that we ended up staying is the Toyoko Inn. Now the Toyoko Inn is a franchise, so they have many hotels. Now they are known for several things. They're known for extremely tiny rooms, like really tiny. But what they are also known for is free breakfast, impeccable customer service, and more importantly, clean and quiet rooms. I didn't want to hear people next to me. I didn't want to hear, ooh, what is that smell on the floor? No, that's what happened last year. So this year, a lot different, and I was so happy. Yes, the rooms were tiny. Now, if you're my size and you're going with a couple or just whatever, don't get the double bed, because the double bed is basically a glorified single, and we had that last year, and yeah, that was not a pleasant experience. So we got twin beds. Now the glory of having twin beds is that you had a nice space to fit both beds, so made the room look like a little bigger. Score! So, but we weren't there long enough anyway. So as soon as we arrived, we immediately went out, to get something to eat. There are plenty of places. That's one nice thing of staying near a train station, especially Machida, because it has I counted 40 restaurants. I mean, they even had TGI Fridays there, to give you an idea. We ended up going to the sukiyaki place, which was awesome because I've never had sukiyaki before. In fact, I had sukiyaki and yakiniku. And from what I understand, sukiyaki is the one with the pot with the veggies and stuff. And then the other side is basically like barbecue. No, that's a different one. The food was good, that's all I remember, and it was gone by the end. They just kept giving us a whole bunch of thinly cut meat and veggies and stuff like that, and then we kept putting them in different broths, and they had a whole bunch of different dipping sauces and stuff. Oh my god. Now, for people that don't know, I don't like sashimi. I don't like raw food. I like mine cooked. So I had plenty of the meat because I was able to cook it to my specifications. Yay! So it was really freaking good. Oh my god! So if you ever have an opportunity to try it, just go. Just try it. Awesome. I still won't dip it in the raw egg. Sorry. So either way, before we ended up going to eat sukiyaki, a very strange thing happened in the hotel lobby. Of course, everybody arrived, everybody's either getting changed, dropping off stuff. Some other people were coming in from different trains because they worked and yada yada. And so I'm sitting in the lobby. Now the lobby setup is a little bit different. The lobby is set up where as soon as you come in, you have the front desk, and then to the left you have almost looks like a cafeteria area. That's where they have the free breakfast in the morning. It's sort of like buffet style. In fact, it's sort of more like cafeteria style because you have somebody that brings your food. They have it out in the table, and then but there is an actual like a per order. I don't know, like the lunch lady thing. Everybody that's had cafeteria food understands what I'm talking about. So anyway, I was sitting in one of the seats. Obviously, since they only have breakfast in the morning, this was in late in the afternoon, there were plenty of seats for me to sit in. So I'm sitting there basically messing with my phone. And of course, my phone is really silent, something that I also found out when you go to Japan. All of their phones have anti-pervert modes. The translation to that is their phones by law have to make a loud click sound. So when someone is taking a photo, you are aware of it even from a distance that somebody's taking a photo with the phone, because apparently they have problems with that, especially with upskirts and oh god, sorry. So apparently the American phones, the same iPhone 6, has pervert mode off. Or I should say on, because no one can really hear it. I can hear the click, but no. Somebody showed me what their phone sounds like. Oh, you can hear that from space. So either way, I decided to do something interesting. So I'm playing with my phone, checking, in fact, I think I was posting something on Twitter at that exact moment. And I hear a voice. And there is a voice very specific. I know this voice. And lo and behold, it was Katsumi Yamada. Yes, Mr. Sasuke. Standing aside the fact that I really don't like him, I kept like, why is he here? Oh, it's a nice hotel. It's a small hotel, but I guess because it's a chain and everybody knows it, it's a nice place to stay. So, but I'm like, what? Why would he, whatever. Okay, so I looked up, took my phone, which I was messing with, and I just tilted it up and took took 2 photos and then put it back down and then continued along my way. And then of course my friends had finally come down, and then of course I looked up, pointed to him, and they're like, oh dear god, it's Katsumi Yamada. So of course we started taking photos. Of course the irony was not lost. I was inside, I was laughing so hard, and all I did was smile. I was so good, you would have been proud of me. So, for the record, he was very nice. He was a little flustered because from what I found out later, they were taping, in fact, that was the end of the day of them taping that thing. Oh, I posted about it. I forget what show, Wednesday Downtown, I think it was. So they were at Midoriyama sloshing and whatever and all the mud and whatever. So I can understand why he was in a lousy mood the entire weekend. Just fair warning. So I'll do my best to try to give him as much of a nice report as possible. He was not a happy camper, but for that particular moment, he was fine. He was perfectly fine. In fact, he took a couple of photos. People were surprised. He was surprised that people recognized him, which was interesting. So. So of course, we took photos and other people were like, oh, okay, you're from Sasuke. So yeah, it's exactly who you thought. I don't know, I guess it takes, foreigners to turn on and go, oh yeah, you are a celebrity. So yeah, we had dinner and just laughed off, just like, just the irony of this. So like, oh god. The funnier one was the following morning, but I'll save that for the Sasuke video. But it was weird because there were a lot of Sasuke competitors that were actually there. And I guess it made sense because, again, it's a nice place to stay. It's close to that train station. Anybody is coming from out of town, especially if they're coming through Tokyo, That's an express train over. It's quick to get there, and then you just take a taxi. And almost everybody, in fact, at the end of tournaments or the end of the day of whatever it is that they're recording, you know, whatever stage, there's like a line of taxis that just are all called at once, and everybody's like running to get the taxis. It's hilarious. So most of the VIP come in on their own buses, and I think even someone like Nagano was actually stayed in Tokyo, so they took the half-hour drive. I think it was half-hour 45. I know they had the VIP coming in from near the TBS station. Now the main headquarters is in Akasaka, which is not Asakusa. I know it sounds the same, but they're in totally different sides of the city. It's just like half-hour difference between the two. Probably even more with the traffic. But anyway, it's in Akasaka, and so most of the VIP is kept in hotels near the main TBS headquarters. So people like Nagano and his family, they stayed in Akasaka. So I think that's where Drew stayed too, where he's just like trying to stay there as close as possible, because they have, I guess, for the equivalent of shuttle buses of everybody that's coming from out of town going there. Obviously I was invited by, I guess, quote unquote local people. So yeah, I ended up staying in Machida, and I much preferred being there again. If for some odd reason I ended up getting to go again to Japan, I'll do the exact same thing. I'll probably end up staying in the exact same place. So yeah, I like the hotel and where we were staying in Machida much better than I did last year. Even though it was in the same area, it was in actually the different part of town. Which is nice because it was actually close to a Lawson's, and was it a 7-Eleven? I know both were there. I think we ended up going to the 7-Eleven to get my picture developed. I found out the day before I was going to leave that Akiyama definitely was coming, and I'm like, oh god, I have like no photos of him to sign, because I had my book, but I had last year's book that had his photo, so I ended up throwing that in there, but I wanted the one that said "Hello Arsenette" signed. I'm like, crap, I can't get that ordered. Oh god. So they're like, okay, just bring the photo in a memory stick or USB thingy, and have that printed out here. So that's what we did. It was like right down the street. It was like, it's just so weird for me, like 7-Elevens and stuff like that, like convenience stores, at least where I live in the States, they don't have that. So it's weird. I mean, you can even pay bills. It's so convenient. I don't know. It's just weird. I found it as a foreigner quite weird. Nice, just weird. So I was still happy because I got the photos. Yay! Yeah. So the next video is gonna technically be day 2, because today's video was technically day 1. With me arriving at the airport. I'll call that day 0 because I arrived so late, and then went to the hotel and then passed. I don't call that an actual day. That's a travel day. So travel day I'll call a 0. Day 1 was the full travel from Narita over to Machida, and then day 2 for me would be Sasuke. So that's a Saturday. So I'll probably do Saturday as one video, and then Sunday as one video, because there was a whole bunch that happened in between, and I actually have some video of it. So so look forward to that, and I'll see you in the next video.